slide. And I think it's probably the most important point I can make today, and it's about our self-esteem. And I'm going to go back to that fraction. The self-esteem is your achievements over your goals. And you can make a fraction bigger by increasing the numerator or decreasing the denominator. So you either got to achieve more or set lower standards, is what it seems like, but we're going to get around this. So I'll work with a kid this morning at 8 o'clock, and he was getting ready to go out and play, I don't know, in Neil's tournament. And I said, this was the first time I'd seen the kid, and I said, what's your goal for today? He said to par or birdie every hole. And I said, okay. I said, what is your average score on 9 holes? 45. I said, okay. I'm going to tell you, I said, have you ever gone out there and broken 36 on 9 holes? No. You know, and I said, I'm going to tell you something. I know this is rude, but you're going to have a crappy day if you don't change your goals right now. Because it's not going to happen. You're not going to do that. You know, you're not going to drop to that level. I said, so if 45 is your average, well, why don't you try to break 45 today? And he said, well, we don't score Neil's thing. And I said, well, how many points did you score last time? And this will probably tell you how bad it really is or whatever. But he said 14. Like, I don't know how many points, or maybe that's probably 45, whatever. So he said, well, could I try to score more points than 14? I'm like, yeah, breaking 14, that's a reasonable goal. So our self-esteem, you know, they did studies of like kids with bad self-esteem. Let's say they're going to shoot a basket. You just say, here's a ball, go make 3 baskets in a row. So kids with bad self-esteem would either get right up where they're hitting layups, or they would go way out toward almost half court, you know, beyond the 3-point line. So kids with bad self-esteem either choose really easy to make goals or really impossible goals so that their self-esteem is preserved. Well, what you want is a challenging goal. Like for that kid to try to break that 45, that's challenging. That is an outcome goal. And I told you we're only making 2 points today, and one of them is to do process-oriented goals. But it's okay, outcome goals make it fun and turn it into a game, but outcome goals should not be primary goals. They're just part of it as a way to have fun and to learn. But if you are going to have goals, you must set reasonable ones. When I came out of college, when I came out of graduate school, I realized, you know, my mind was pretty good, except for I knew my self-esteem was off. And I took this self-esteem test, and it said, you have bad self-esteem. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. And it was like in the 25th percentile. So I'd watch all these people walking around me. I know, you know, I'd say, well, that person has a job that didn't require my training and skill set, and they feel better than I do. That person does not take care of their hygiene at all, and they feel better about themselves than I do. You know, what's going on? And I realized, I mean, some of it stemmed from me wanting to play professional football, not getting to that level. So it's like this never enoughness. And whatever goal I would achieve, just like a lot of your kids, I would just set up a higher goal. So I got sick of that, and I decided, well, once I learned from William James about all this stuff, I said, well, I'm not going to have goals. I'm not going to have the goal not to have a goal. If I have one, I'll take it. And my self-esteem went through the roof, and I got kind of lazy for a little while. I had a lot of fun. I actually traveled the world for a year, just did different things in my life. And then I started thinking, well, this is indulgent and lazy, and you've got to get some kind of reasonable goal. And I started coming up with goals that had meaning and were purpose-driven, and that were evaluate myself based on my effort and improvements as I started learning, as opposed to my absolute performance. And so, you know, let me see if there's anything else on self-esteem.
But is that easier when you're not in the sporting arena?
Is that easy?
If you're in an academic arena, how can you really judge yourself the way you can in sport?
It's
Sport's a finite number.
Yeah, well, you get grades in academia, and those are numbers. And you know, you and I can look at our performance. You can say, well, how many people are in my academy? How much are their scores improving? You can always quantify anything. And I think we need to quantify to see if you're learning, but you can't make that the focus. So everything can be quantified. When I did take that year off, I traded stocks professionally. And last year, I broke 200% in total returns, which sounds crazy, right? Which says, I track this all the time. Now, I was very frustrated with last year because at one point I was up 300% and I finished at 200%. I had a lot of leverage and all this stuff. It was pretty nightmarish end of the year. But with all that said, I watch those returns, and all the things I'm telling you all about this that I'm going to tell you today, I do it myself in stock trading. They're very easy to quantify. You just look at how much did I invest, but everything can be quantified. Gerald, your job, you could quantify it by, how would you quantify your job?
Did they die?
Well, exactly. That's a great quantification, isn't it? And then how quick was it? You know, like I guess people could take too long, or how good was the surgery, or whatever. And so everything can be quantified, but it's still not. These numbers, I think, are just a play. Like you quantify your work meal, don't you, in some kind of way, in your own head? Yeah. And it's just, you use these quantifications for fun. But as we're going to see, the bottom, it's all about, I said the self-esteem is nothing you can achieve. And I learned that because whatever it was, like, you know, let's say Neil wanted to have his golf academy have, how many people are in your academy right now? How many people are in all your programs?
Like let's say 96.
Yeah, close to 100. You know, and let's say his goal is to get to 100 next year. And that's a pretty good goal, you know, and they break 100. Well, he could say the next year, he could say, I need 200 or I need 150 or whatever, but you're just never going to, once he gets to 100, he'll just raise that bar higher, maybe not be satisfied. And so self-esteem for your kids, I say, it's really nothing they can achieve, it's a gift. And you have to give your kids some forms of unconditional love. Not that we and if you do, there also should be some conditional love, but that should be based on their effort, you know, and their attitude, right? And at the end it says process. Making that self-esteem right is all about having the right goals. The goals you set for your kids and what you reinforce and what you ask about, that's going to determine how successful they really are and how they feel about themselves.